Credo is the daft of the Football Daft podcast.
Is that a good story? Is that a good story?
I've got an encyclopedia brain.
He's got a day man nothing. Fuck's sake. Why are you a fucking hoop?
This is Football Daft.
You're a Rangers man. I'm a Hearts man.
With Ewan Cameron.
I work for Showtime and ESPN.
And...
In the top end of Stevenson,
It's not so much who are you, it's ho 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 are you. We put out to the audience and we had a vote here in the Football Daft podcast office about who was the favourite guest of the year. Now naturally I won it. Is that right, John?
No.
That's what they told me. But it was the guy who was on the week before I came on making a guest appearance who scooped every prize. And it is the one, the only, Jose Quitongo. Jose, it's great to see you, my pal.
It's a pleasure to be here, David.
Great to see you. And are you delighted that your appearance on Football Daft got everyone talking?
Yeah, it's great. The first time when I come over the show, just go have a good laugh and, talk a lot of rubbish, but it's a good thing.
Well, when I was asked to come on, I was a listener already, but I had a good listen, a really close listen to the week before, just so I knew what was coming, because Ewan Cameron, the normal host of the programme, he might have kind of thrown a few wobblies, which he did, but I tell you what, you stole the show for the season, for the year, with that story. Do you want to tell us?
What story there?
I'll let John, I'll let him guess.
I'm pure mortified.
Well, we were just talking about how we all liked a night out at Hamilton Point nightclub in our day, the Hamilton Palace. But you need to tell that story again, fella.
No, Hamilton's see the time when I was Hamilton, Hamilton Palace used to be the place.
Oh.
Yeah, because a lot of people from all over the Scotland go to Hamilton Palace. It used to be a great place to go.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I paid it a visit.
I know. And I have a good time there, young and you going out and, I'm not never drink, but I'm always out. This is my problem. Yeah, always out. Going out, parties, and come 5 o'clock in the morning. I remember one, I went in the party with my pal. I had this beautiful suit. I look at the watch, I say 5 o'clock, I say, oh my God, she's gonna kill me, man. You know what I done? I take all the buttons, wrap my suit.
What?
Yeah. I put a wee mop in my head, and I went in the house. She said, where you been? Where you been? I said, listen, I've been in fight. Same fight, the guy called me name, and we end up fighting, and then police come and take me away. And me, Sally, I take all the buttons, I put in the table. She said, you're a lying bastard. I said, Fidel, how can you find all the buttons, man? It's crazy. She gave me a lot of problems, man. It's terrible.
Who is she as a matter of interest? Your mother?
No, she's mother of my kids.
Oh,
yeah, mother of my kids. Before,
no way.
Yeah. But it's good. Good times. I had a good time here. Can't complain.
What's the funniest thing that ever happened to you as a professional footballer?
I think when I come off for do a share, when I play for Samaritan, we play against Ross Country, cup game. The manager ready to put 3 stop, and I stand, and the manager said, Jose, come on, run. I said, if I can, I need a share. I said, fucking go. Ask the ref. I said, went to the ref. I need to go. He said, okay, you go. And I went, and then I come back. See, after that, oh, man. Crazy. But it was good. Yeah, it was good.
It was a good one?
Yeah, it was good.
Did you pause long enough to wash your hands?
Yeah, but soon I get in the toilet, the cat man, come on, Jose, I said, come on, the manager. Yeah, I washed my hand and then I went to the park. And actually, I was the guy who passed the ball for, we scored the goal that game.
Oh,
yeah.
Brilliant.
Was good.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Have you ever had an accident on the pitch?
No. Only problem I do, I fart a lot. The defender like fucking, smelling. You know, I just, you know, wind him up. You
Was
know,
that your secret weapon?
Yeah, I sometimes do that. The guy, you know, because he give my wee space, you know. And then this way, when I get the ball and go run toward him, you know, I always, when he stand with me, I'm fighting like, smell back and give my wee space.
You must have great control over your bowels then. How do you get all that gas?
No. You see the problem? I eat a lot of fruit. That's my problem. Yeah, I eat a lot of fruit.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, it's not a problem, but, you know, that's what happened.
Do you know anyone else who uses the farting technique to try and ward off?
No, just me.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
Just me.
That is the best story I think I've ever
know.
heard. That's a great technique. When you're coaching young players, was that something you would recommend to them?
No. When I'm coaching with young players, it's good fun, just serious and, you know, good laugh, but nothing about that. I remember, actually, I coach a lot of kids. I do the kids camp, and last summer, one kid come cry to me, say, I said, what happened? Oh, he say, my mom have a hairy ass. I'm like, oh, man. And then the kids, parent coming, you know, I need to explain the parent. I say, what happened? I say, no, that kid said, your son, you have a hairy head. I try made up. The son said, no, mommy said you have a hairy ass. I'm pure mortified, man. You know.
And did she?
Yeah, I'm just, you know, just stand still, like, you know, but it's good.
Listen, I've got to ask you, you're always so well dressed. How would you describe your style? I love watching your stuff on Instagram and so on.
No, I just, because I travel a lot, I love clothes. You know what I mean? I'm a bargain hunter. My people sometimes think, oh, he spend a lot of money. No. If I see blazer, maybe because 100, I go buy when the blazer's 25. You know, I'm a bargain hunter. You know, I love clothes.
Okay, well, you're looking good in your Santa hat.
Thank you.
And your Santa beard.
I know.
We're going to get you to put that on to try and disguise you when Grado comes in.
I know.
Do you think, can you disguise your voice?
No. No, that's not.
That sounds more like Chick Young.
I know.
Right, quick break,
Okay.
and then we'll bring in Big Grado.
No problem.
So it's ho, 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 who are you? And you ready, Grado? What are you doing?
Getting a drink of juice because I just had tuna pasta and put hundreds of salt on it.
Did you bring in your own iron brew?
Well, what else am I going to get it for?
Good lad. So we've got our guest here. And I want you to try and guess who it is, because that's what we do on Who Are You?
Mm-hmm. You said it, right, so you said it's a Christmas special. It's no Santa, is it? Is it? Is it Santa?
That sounds more like a baddie from Scooby-Doo.
So it's no Santa?
Well, if you put your right arm out, you might get a little clue.
Right. Fucking is Santa! Is it Santa?
Well, it's somebody dressed as Santa.
Right, okay.
It might not be the real one.
I should have played along with that there, I should have, right, okay, right, so you're Santa. So you're Santa, but you're no Santa all the time.
Yes.
Right? Are you a fat Santa?
Just a little.
Right, okay. This is scary. Right, so is that real growth?
Yeah, this is my pubes.
I was going to say you've lowered
So
the
you've
tone there,
stuck-
Santa, but you've not really.
So you've stuck your pubes to your face. Right, hold on, what do we see here? Right, you're quite defined for Santa, I'd say.
Thank you.
Defined. You've got a nice woolly jumper, nice winter jumper. You don't have an engagement ring. You've got a fucking 6-pack and a half. Is that a 6-pack, big man?
Yeah, Santa 6-pack.
Right. So I've got a fit Santa. Right, so what are you? Are you Scottish?
No.
Oh,
Is he no? Is he lying, David?
No,
he's-
I'm not Scotch, pal.
not
Are you the UK, United Kingdom?
No, my man.
Are you
I'm from America.
North Pole?
I'm from America. Chicago, pal.
You're from Chicago?
Yes,
The
my
only
man.
person I know from Chicago is Colt Cabana, and he's not here.
Can I make a quick point?
What?
He's not from America.
Right. You need to listen, mate. See if you sign up to this shit. You need to date right, right? Don't be coming in here with fucking Santa costumes on and six packs and try to put on accents. Right? You need to play a game.
That's the way I talk, my man.
You sound like a junkie.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Right, hold on. Are you on the telly?
No.
Right.
The six pack is something of a clue.
Right, so you're a wrestler.
Do awful wrestler? No.
Right, are you a football player?
Used to be.
These are good questions.
Are
You're getting closer now.
you on the telly now?
No. You
Have
know
I
me.
met you before?
Yeah, you met me a lot of time, pal. We play a lot of time together.
Are you Jamaican?
No.
What, is it Marvin Andrews?
Fucking no, he's a big guy.
Actually, Santa, if you stand up, that might be a
stand up,
clue.
stand up,
You
let's
get an
stand up.
idea of size, because if you're saying Marvin Andrews,
Hold on. Let's see.
God.
Holy fuck! Holy fuck, you're massive, man! Holy shit! Look at the neck of that. Here, Tanner, take a photo of that. Oh, you're going first! Holy fuck! Tanner, take a photo of that.
I am taking a photograph
Holy
of it.
shit!
So does that help you work out who it is then, Grado?
Tank.
You'd have done the heat, man.
I've got a bit of a confession. He might have been standing on the chair there.
Oh!
In fact, when he came in, he
This
called
is
me.
too hard.
He
This-
called me big man.
This is frustrating me now. Have I played football with you before?
Million times.
Oh,
Oh my god.
so he likes a charity game now.
Million times, my man.
Oh my god, my brain's fucking freaking out now.
Oh, come
Oh
on.
no, this is shite.
Actually, why don't we take Santa's beard off and you can feel
Right,
Santa's
right,
actual
right, okay.
actual wee face? I think this will give it away.
Right, you think so?
Yeah.
You go to half big man or wee man? Or the fuck size you?
Sit down.
Right, you can sit down.
Yeah, health and safety department here. Producer John wants
Oh
you to
my
sit down
God.
in case you fall.
Yeah.
Where am I going, Nick?
It's to your.
See when you play for the Legends games, do you play for Rangers or Celtic?
I play for both teams.
Oh,
Come on, my man.
but the only person I know that does that is
Come on, my man.
Who the fuck did he get, no?
Oh, fucking hell. Come on, man.
You know, you're making it worse for me when you say that.
Come on, pal. You know me, man.
I know, you sound
Hey,
like Jose Quitongo, man.
That boy.
Who did you say?
He sounds like Jose Quitongo.
Hate that wee bogger, man.
Is that your guess?
Is it Jose Quitongo?
Is it your guess?
Yes.
Is it your guess?
Aye, is it Jose Quitongo?
Are you sure?
Is it aye?
No. You
No,
sure?
fuck's sake. So it's no Jose.
No, pal.
It's Santa.
Santa. Merry Christmas.
My favorite guest in the world, my favorite guest in the
Oh,
world.
what a special
I
moment.
knew it was him. I fucking knew it.
Oh, my God.
Jose, you knew I knew it was you. He just fucking hurt me.
Oh,
Jose, you should have farted
I'm
and
so
he'd have got it in
I
an
know,
instant.
I know.
Jose, you don't fart.
Yeah, all the time when I play football, man.
Yeah, you don't fart.
Yeah, like,
Jose, it's good to see you,
Nice,
man.
my
You
man.
look fucking great, mate.
look well, man.
Oh, mate, I've been doing panto, man. I've been
Yeah.
fucking busting my arse, mate. Swear to God, I could race you.
Yeah.
I swear
Well,
to God, man.
Listen,
Listen.
I'm still fast, man. Still.
Oh, but I'm telling you, mate, I'm grafting in that panel. See if I don't drop 2 stone by January.
No, but look very well.
Think so?
Very,
Think so?
No, very well, my
Let's
man.
see, let's
Oh,
see,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Nearly there, man.
Trim as
Couple of
fuck.
For those
My
of
favourite football daft guest is
For-
here.
No, he's good.
He's
Good.
my favourite
Oh.
guest.
Thank you, my man.
Wait a minute.
Absolutely.
So what am I then?
What? But you?
No, you present.
I was in the next week.
But you presented.
He told me it was his favourite.
Yeah.
He's full of it.
Listen,
He's like that with
only
everyone.
man to fucking part of shite in somebody's doorstep and get to jail for it. Love it. Come on, let's sing some Christmas songs. Come on.
What?
Come on. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is. Jose, jingle bells.
What is your what do you do at Christmas, Jose? What's the Angolan tradition for Christmas?
For Christmas, tradition in Angola, I remember I always say that to Mikey. Mikey, oh, Dad, you lying. I remember tradition Angola. My dad, because I'm the old one, she take me in the jungle for go get a lion for Christmas. Yeah, that is the what's name. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Instead of a turkey, you have a lion.
Lion steak.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
swear.
Honestly.
I
Away you
remember.
go.
With tatties and all that?
No.
Brussels sprouts?
No,
lion and
sweet,
tatties?
sweet potato with lion steak. Yeah, my dad take me in the jungle get a lion.
No way,
I
mate.
swear, I jump in the tree and look. When I look back, my dad been eaten by a lion.
And how the fuck did you end up at
Hey,
Castle?
what? Your dad was eaten by a lion?
By a lion.
No way.
Yeah,
Is he
because
dead? Is he dead?
Oh, lion eat all. I just left. The lion left the shoes. I take the shoes home.
Is
I
he
say,
dead?
Mom, Dad is dead. You know what I mean?
Did your dad die by getting
Lion, yeah.
eaten by a lion?
On
Yeah.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. Yeah. This is why I'm
John,
never
what's
celebrate.
fucking funny about that?
No, it's funny. Yeah.
Is it?
Alright,
Ah,
funny,
John,
yeah.
it's funny. Yeah.
Mate,
is that a
Jose
true
Quitongo-
story?
Jose
Eh?
Is that a
Quitongo's-
true story?
Yes,
Jose
true story, yeah.
Quitongo's dad
Been
got
eaten
ate by a lion on Christmas
Christmas
Day.
Day. Yeah. This is why I'm not celebrating Christmas Day. Just staying at home and you know what I mean.
Fucking hell, man. There's a lion joke in the pantomime. You kidding on?
No, it's true.
Seriously?
No. This what happened.
This will be in the papers and then we'll have to retract
Yeah,
it.
lions. This what happened. You know.
This podcast is just an absolute
No.
uproar.
No, this.
Let's assume that your father wasn't eaten by a lion. Did you do the full Santa Claus thing in the family dinner or what?
in Africa or here?
Both.
No, here we just because I have a baby girl. She's 1 month.
Many means you go, Jose. You must have been 40 now, you know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10
I'm
kids.
kidding. I'm joking. 4. I just go 4. David, 4. 2
Are
boys,
we-
2 girls.
How old's your girl?
1 month.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
1
Well,
month.
congratulations.
Oh,
Thank you.
congratulations, Jose,
Thank you,
my
my
man.
man.
Get in
Well
there,
done.
Thank
Are you
you.
getting the snip now?
No, you crazy?
Ah!
I'm no. I'm scared. Come on.
Tell me the story about how you almost got to the World Cup then, because you were about, what, 35?
Yeah, because
This is not a fairy tale.
Angola, 2005. Yeah, when Angola qualified to the World Cup in Germany. Yeah, the guy I was a part.
2006.
Yeah, I was in part of that, and the manager called me, say, Jose, won't you come be part of the group? I went to Angola, been there for 3 weeks, but because I have Portuguese passport, a lot of politics, blah blah blah, and then I just come back home and
Aye.
you know.
Because I remember you phoning me and
Yeah.
saying what the manager had said.
Yeah, but the passport situation,
Oh,
you know,
shite,
because
man.
yeah.
I mean, it's a fairy tale for Angola to
For
get
Angola,
to the
yeah.
World
Yeah,
Cup.
I know.
He's got a criminal record for shitting on folks' doorsteps.
Yeah.
So that could be an issue.
No, no, that's America. I can't get in. I can't get.
Can you not get into America?
They see the paper.
You can't get an Esther.
You see the paper. You left shit in somebody's house.
Now, listen, I've got to ask about your son, Jai.
Two
Yeah,
boys, you
two.
know, you can, two
Two,
boys that
yeah.
play football. Eh?
Well, Jai,
they're always
I
slating
saw-
the Rangers in 12, you know.
Jai, I enjoyed watching playing and scoring goals for Morton. How's he getting on in Iran?
Yeah, he's
Bit different from Greenock.
Yeah, very different. The season finished. He's doing well there. The season finished. Now he's back here. You know, he's wait for, January, try to get us something. But in the meantime, he's training with Dumbarton because my son, Rico, the young one, play for Dumbarton. Because I know Jem Duff very well. He's there training, just
Yeah.
keep himself.
Is he looking after them?
Yeah.
Aye,
Jem Duff
aye.
is good. I like
Aye.
Jem Duff.
Great guy.
Are they what age are they now, Jose?
22 and 20.
Right.
Yeah. That's it.
And have they got potential?
Yeah, no, my boy's good.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
My boy's good.
What did they play?
One play up front,
Aye.
another one left back.
Aye. Okay,
But my family, the best one is my mom. My mom used to play football.
Oh, shit.
Score 50 goals in one game.
Really?
Yeah. The jungle, 50 goals.
In the jungle. Here, speaking of jungle.
Was that the day your
How good-
father...
I'm kidding. No, I'm joking about that. But David, I swear, I remember my dad taking me watch basketball game
Aye.
in Africa. David, tun. The game finished. Everybody, yes, what a game.
Aye.
Now basketball game. I say, what the hell? The ball too big for the hoop. The ball bounce all the time. Boom.
So can it get even hoop?
No.
So it was
The game
0-0.
finished. Now basketball game. I'm like,
Was your mom playing in that game?
no, my mom play football. Santa Fe scored a lot of goals.
Really? What's your mom's name?
Maria.
Maria Quitongo?
Yeah. What the?
Is she still alive, was she?
No, unfortunately, lion eat the whole as well.
She was a lion ate her tea?
Yeah.
Fuck me, man. You better keep back to these lines, mate.
Josie's ringtone
He's
is...
used a scratching post.
I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. My mom is still alive.
He's lying.
Yeah, I'm lying.
Hey. Well,
No.
Jose, listen, thank you so much
No
for coming
problem.
in.
It's a pleasure.
Can I ask you one last question? What is your wish for this special time of year for the world and for the new year ahead?
I just wish everybody happiness and had a good
Peace.
time, and people know have a law. We can
Come together.
come together and help one another.
Aye, because,
You know?
what is it? Because you know what? You need to remember
Yeah.
at this time of the year,
Yeah.
there's Waynes out there that's
Yeah,
struggling.
this
And they
is
don't
the-
have,
yeah, no.
they don't, because,
Yeah, this is
what is
true.
it? Do they know it's
Christmas,
time?
Dun, 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 dun.
Do they know it's Christmas time?
Come on. See, in Africa, when that Christmas, everybody remember my dad. Oh, Jose's dad been hit by a
Aye,
lion.
aye.
Jose, Merry Christmas.
Jose,
my
Merry
pal.
Thank you
Christmas.
very much.
Jose.
Thank you for
I
having
feel
me.
as if we need to sing one more song. What could we sing? Come on.
Thank you very much. to have
You
me.
can hide your lion eyes.
And,
See what I did there?
No,
You
but
see what I did
what's
there?
the song for the Lion King?
In the jungle, the mighty jungle,
the lions feed
tonight.
tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle. Jose
in the
Quitongo.
house.
G-R-A-D-O. It's yourself. G-R-A-D-O. It's yourself. J-O-S-E. Quitongo. Man, we are talking wild lot of
It's
shit.
good. No, Grido is good.
Ah, it's
no,
good.
it's nice to be here, man.
Now let's get mildly festive, Grado. We're looking for the Football Daft donkey that disgraced your team, and we put it open on Twitter, and we asked you to tweet in your nominations for these donkey duds. And I tell you what, my phone didn't stop over the week. We've got some here. Which one catches your eye, Grado?
What's this that people have sent in for donkeys? Well, we've got Rob Weir here who says he hated Ian Black before he joined Rangers. When he joined Rangers, I hated him even more.
Oh, come on. Alan Brown, a bit of a topical one here, says Freddie Ljungberg for
You
Celtic.
forget he signed for Celtic.
Do you know what? I remember interviewing him at Berwick Rangers after a Scottish Cup game. He hardly kicked the ball in that game,
Aye.
and he didn't do anything else after that. Anyway, so yeah, the Arsenal caretaker manager, Freddie Ljungberg, underpants model. Sorry, he was pants for Celtic.
Danilo Ottaviano says, do we? And Daniel, how'd you say that?
Mastorovic. Daniel Mastorovic.
Do we never got a fair crack at a whip?
Do we Diddy was an absolute pudding. Famously, of course, played one game for Celtic, and it was the defeat at Clyde on Roy Keane's debut as well. Roy Keane did, of course, recover and have a decent few games for Celtic. Daniel Mastorovic was brought in by Neil Lennon at the start of his first season in full control about 10 years ago. I thought he was all right. Big, strong Swedish international defender.
Yep.
Anyway, Ross Mabel says, my donkey is the whole of this season's Hearts team.
Matt Reid says, Blair Henderson for Stirling Albion. He scored 10 goals in one season, but 6 were penalties. Useless. That's a bit unfair.
Matt, that's the right kind of
man.
useless. Here's a belter for you from your club.
I feel yeah, Blair, I'm giving you a shout out, mate. Keep the head up. Don't listen to this cunt.
Yeah, come on. We are all Hendo. We're all Hendo. Davy Nimsey has come up with a great shout from the Alec McLeish era at Rangers when the cost cuts were kicking in there. Egil Ostenstadt.
Oh, he was horrific.
I think, did he have a Premier League winners medal with Blackburn? He was
Shite.
his legs had gone, to be fair. But there's legs going, and there's standing with your legs nailed to the ground, and the big man was the latter.
Stuart Young says goalkeeper Leno Letizia at Rangers. What I remember about that was
good shout.
It is a good shout because McGregor was ready. McGregor was ready at that time, and Le Guin refused to play McGregor. I remember that, but it got a wee bit uncomfortable because Rangers fans did not like Letizia at all.
They were right, and the arse fell out of Letizia's shorts because he just absolutely bottled it.
I wonder what he's doing right now.
He's probably counting his millions somewhere. Craig Graham says, take your pick from the Claude Anelka fiasco at Wraith Rovers. I tell you what, that is a good shout. Claude Anelka, Nicholas Anelka's brother, was manager at Wraith for a while, and there were some absolute diddies come in there. My mate Ray and Graham Kilgour, I think, would agree with that. Now, here's another belter for you. Stuart W is looking at St Mirren.
Mo Kamara, truly dreadful.
Boy George.
Oh, the very one. Boy George has contacted Football Daft to say Josh Parker at Aberdeen. I don't know who that is. Do you?
Was he the big striker they had in? Was he an absolute cart horse?
I don't know. Blaine Mulgrew says Olivier Bernard at Rangers. Can remember watching him and thinking, rotten.
Olivier Bernard, he get knocked out, clean out, didn't he? Was that a European game?
Was it?
Absolutely spangled.
I think he gave for Newcastle as well. There was a lot of excitement about him.
Yeah, I know.
Fraser Bloy says Joe Tortolano when he moved to Falkirk, he was murder. And while another Falkirk supporter is nominating every player Paul Hartley signed.
There you
go, John agrees with that.
This is, what's that, Fraser Bloy? Are you Fraser Bloy, John?
I please really need to read the last one, right?
Who's it from?
Right. It's from Wayne Dooner.
What a great name that is.
And
Wayne
his
Dooner.
donkey list is as follows. Now, as I read this, I get the fear. Stephen Simonson, Sebastian Forey, Anestis Aragueiro, Ian Black, Sandaza, Kevin Kyle, Rob Kiernan, Franny Jeffers, James Beattie, Libano Osionko, Jose Pierre Fanfan, Dragan Milandovic, Nuno Capuccio, who we'll talk about later. And he writes he could be here all night, and I'm sure you could. I might add on to that. Oh no, I can't, because I can't his missus.
Sadiq!
Oh no, for a doubt, Sadiq.
Hold it in.
Shite. Imposter.
Well, Grado, I asked you over a beer last night, what do you want for your Christmas? And you said a trip to the Gold Coast in Australia. And
Aye.
I've pulled it off for you, son.
Oh, it's great to be here. They've set up a lovely studio here in Brisbane. Weather's fantastic. It's great to be here down under.
And on the back of that, our special guest is none other...
Then Donald Fisher. Good day, mate.
Great, I love it, son. How are you?
It's the Scottish, the Glaswegian, in fact, Australian, Craig Moore.
How are you?
I'm brand new. So see, having a look up Wikipedia and it says Rangers were your first team. So did you come from Australia to Scotland?
I definitely come from Australia, Grado, yeah.
By the way, you've done your research, big fella. Well done.
No, but what happened?
Yeah, no, good question. What you mean? Why did Rangers sign me? Is that what you mean? What happened?
So who did you start off with?
So, but junior football, obviously, I played in Australia between clubs in New South Wales and then at the back end in Queensland. I was also involved in the younger national team, so I'd played under 17 World Cup in 91 and 93 I played the under 20 World Cup, which is in Australia. We reached semi-final of that tournament, and after that tournament I had opportunities to trial at a couple of clubs. I trialled at Arsenal and I trialled at Glasgow Rangers. Was very fortunate that I had the same contract offer from both clubs at that time back in 93, and I decided to sign with Rangers without, to be honest with you, not knowing a load, or not knowing loads about Scottish football in general, because back home in Oz it's all the English stuff. But I had this really good feel about Glasgow Rangers, the club.
Did it have anything to do with in terms of like walking through the doors? Say you gone through Highbury. Was there a difference between walking through the doors at Highbury than there was to walking through the doors at Ibrox? Did that kind of
In fact, they did have a marble staircase as well. So who'd the best marble staircase?
Well, I've got to say Rangers. Don't I? But look, I think I understand what you're trying to say. I felt so. I had a month at Arsenal. I picked up an injury early doors and learned very quickly that it's competition. So people don't want to give that jersey up, which was important. And I had 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks training at Glasgow Rangers, and the further north you go, the more friendlier the people are, and I just had a really good feel here in Glasgow, and people couldn't do enough for you to make sure that you were settled, that you were happy, and that you enjoyed your time, and that was a big factor.
Was there anybody in particular that went, oh, he's a nice guy, I like this guy, he's really making me feel welcome? Was it or a group of people that you went? Because obviously at that time, you know, Rangers are known for throughout the 90s of having such, you know, a solid team that drank together, you know, had a good...
Stop. I don't know where you're going.
You know what I mean, but...
Yeah, no, I mean, look...
Did that attract, was that part of it?
Yeah, but again, when you come from another country and you come into a competitive environment where it's me or you, you know, people go, you know, who the bloody hell do you think you are? You're coming to take my position. So the initial part is difficult because you have to earn the respect first and foremost. You know, a normal first day of training up here, I think it was Kevin Fotheringham, where he's caught me with an elbow and, you know, given me a few polite words and all that, take that. And it kind of, you know, I just let it register, and 5 minutes later in the training session, I got my opportunity and
Get tore in.
had a few choice words back. And I think from that moment is there's the respect. You've got to be able to play. But my earlier time, Charlie Miller was someone that I clicked with straight away. Charlie was somebody that is a wonderful character and a really great friend of mine. But he was a great up and coming player at Rangers, and you could see you could see when he was walking about, the young boys loved him. They knew that he was a special talent, and he could still get away a bit at that time with Walter Smith and Archie Knox as well. Gallus is a good explanation.
Nailed it.
Aye. And you signed for Rangers, brilliant.
Yeah, no, it was a wonderful moment because you know, as a young fella, I was very driven to be a professional footballer, without really knowing what that looked like, if I'm being honest, because Australia was semi-pro. We didn't have a professional league, so there was nothing for me at that stage back home. And to come over and sign a professional contract and have the opportunity to train on a daily basis with top class players, top coaches. We didn't have the facility back then. You know, we were sort of like searching and training at all different places, but just the level and the people, you know, they were just great people at the football club. It was a hard school in terms of you had to earn the right, but that's the only way for me.
Who were the big characters that really stand out in your memory now, 20 years on?
Man, that's a long time. You're testing my memory, but one of the best people for me in my earlier stages at Glasgow Rangers was Richard Gough. Richard Gough was an unbelievable leader at that football club. You know, for me, he had you could just see the respect that he had from the whole dressing room. He delivered. He trained his ass off. He was a great leader in every way, and he also had a similar experience when he was a younger lad. You know, from coming different country to Scotland, and kind of knew what I was going through, or was what was ahead for me. So he was brilliant. He was brilliant in my earlier years at Glasgow Rangers.
There's that clip, I don't know the exact words, but it's before a game and he's in the tunnel. I think it's something along the like, right boys, we know what's required today.
I'll tell you.
You know what I'm talking about?
I'll tell
that?
you exactly what that's from.
Aye.
It was the night of a midweek Old Firm game where everything mad happened. I think it was 2 missed penalties. Gorham saved one, and Stuart Kerr,
who we spoke about last week.
Yeah, and the Fox came on the pitch. And when he came out the tunnel that night, I was in the tunnel. He said, "Come on, Rangers, you know what you've got to do."
Yep.
And I thought, what a simple message that is. And of course, they went out and did what Celtic did at the weekend there.
Yes.
Last weekend, they did what they had to do. And that was leadership, wasn't it?
And that's the way it was back in the day. And you know, just, I mean, great leaders. I mean, Goughy was phenomenal, but there was a huge Scottish influence as well back then, which were all leaders in their own right and all international players. You know, you look at your Andy Gorhams, your Ian Durrants, your John Browns, your Stuart McCalls, your Ian Fergusons. The list went on, and all leaders. You know, but at the end of the day, your captain is that one that, simplicity, knows the way to motivate his team, and Goffey was brilliant, and he always led by example. You know, and that's the way that captains they need to be. They need to lead by example. They don't need to be the best player, but they must lead by example.
There's a big debate on at the moment about whether James Tavernier is a captain. Does he seem like have the demeanour of a Rangers captain to you?
Look, Tav, from the games, I mean, obviously I'm getting a lot of stuff back home in Australia. I've had the opportunity here. I mean, I watch as much of the games as I possibly can. He's excellent going forward. Defensively, we know that he's not at his strongest. In terms of leadership and a typical type of Rangers captain, look, he is what he is, and I don't think you should look to change people. You know, he gives his all every single game. He's looking to, I guess, he doesn't look as if he's one of those ones that's really vocal with the whole team. Yeah, like a Goffey for example back in the day, but by his performances, you know, by his contributions in terms of what he does in an attacking sense. You know, he's trying his best. It's hard to say whether or not he fits the ideal, because what is the ideal captain? You know, he's doing a great job. It's a great honour, and I'm sure he takes pride and gives his best every time he walks out in that field.
Maybe he's a modern captain for the millennial captain, if you like, for millennial players.
Good word, that,
Snowflakes, if you will. Like you.
Millennial, I'm not a fucking snowflake.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, it's just a little bit. Nowadays, a little bit different. The leadership qualities, the vocal players on the field, the coaching on the field, those kind of things you don't see as much as what you used to see back in the day.
When you look back at that team in the 90s, so many people could have been captain. I mean, obviously Goffey, you know, he was the captain, he was the man, but you know, there could have been more. You know what I'm saying by that?
Yeah. I think Andy Gorham had captain Hibs for a bit.
I didn't know that, did he?
I think he did. I'm fairly he certainly wore the armband at some points. Alan McLaren, captain Hearts at 16.
Yeah, and what a player.
Stuart McCall, captain Bradford.
Aye.
You know, right the way through the team.
And I don't know how, I missed Coisty as well at the top there, you know, like in terms of the Scottish players and that drive and unbelievable character Coisty was. Big Mark Haitley there, but you're right, Alan McLaren, by the way, what a player he was. Unfortunately, his career was cut short with a knee injury, but for me, he was probably the best central defender that I'd seen. That unfortunately, just that career was cut short due to injury. He could have been a phenomenal player.
I think his last game was the night Rangers clinched 9 in a row. Is that right?
Was that really?
I think he just got over the line, didn't he? Thereabouts.
Well, he just got through that season. Yeah, he was carrying that knee injury, and I think the idea was, through the medical advice, was let's get through the season, you'll be okay, and we'll get things tidied up at the end of the season. But that wasn't the case.
What was his nickname?
Alan McLaren.
Oh, you know it, Tanner. Hey.
Something to do with his rosy cheeks.
Yeah. Was it Ribena face?
Ribena face, yeah, that
was
was something like. I mean, to be fair, that was one of the polite ones that got thrown about back in the day.
Were you called it? And then what were you?
Right, the polite version, Big Oz.
Big Oz.
But you can imagine what flew in between.
Skippy.
I was going to Skippy.
Right. Yeah. No, I got plenty. Durrani, he loved it every single day. He'd come in a bit like you were early on and all that. G'day, mate, and how are you? And he'd taken the piss out of me, but they were good times.
Listen, Barry Ferguson and you were very close. I remember that.
Yep.
You were kind of coming up around about the same time. How good was Barry Ferguson when you look back on it?
Barry was he was top class. He was top class. Again, he was a younger player that was shown a lot of faith by Dick Advocaat. Obviously, prior to that, there were limited opportunities, but I think the club knew they had a great player coming through. Dick Advocaat made a brave call and gave Barry Ferguson the captaincy. He also put him nice and close to Arthur Newman, who Dick Advocaat had a really good relationship with from previous club. to guide and to mentor Barry. As a player, I think he could have actually gone to a higher level than what he did. He was that good. He was that good. But sometimes a little bit of luck. He had when he went down to Blackburn, he fractured his kneecap, didn't he?
He broke his kneecap. I mean, just think about that.
Yeah.
Seems awful.
That's the worst. That is the worst.
But he just loved the club. He got back to playing really well at Blackburn after that injury, and there was talk of the Arsenals and a few bigger clubs sniffing around about for Fergie. He wanted to return home. He wanted to return to his club that he loved, that he supported as a kid.
Where would you rather live, London or Hamilton?
Oh, I experienced both as well, and I enjoyed my time up here.
Oh, aye.
Let's move on.
Do you know, we might be jumping the gun here, right? But
Jump it.
Aye, let's jump it. What did you find the major differences between Walter and Dick?
Just completely different style of football.
And how did the dressing room adapt? Was it?
Was
it easy?
No. Look, Walter. When Walter had left, it was kind of it's a new generation. It's kind of a generation has passed. A lot of players had left. A new coach comes in that we didn't know a great deal about, other than that he was firm and wanted things done, especially at the beginning in a ruthless kind of way, because it's about earning the trust. New coaches are going to bring new signings. He naturally brought in players that he knew. But because we still had a really strong dressing room and strong characters and philosophies at football clubs, people have got to fit the football club. Yeah, the club doesn't change for new people coming in. This is who we are. This is what we do. And certainly in my time, and I was involved in probably 3 different teams at Rangers, and that transition of coach and players, mate, was always seamless. Like I said, some players found themselves out of favour, or that happens. A new coach comes in, and maybe now you're not his cup of tea, and you've got to look to move on, which is not great. But that's our business. But never in my time did we have any issues with a new coach or new players. Like I said, this is who we are. You buy into that, or you don't survive.
Was there anybody that came to Rangers that didn't survive? That walked through the door and you thought to yourself, Craig, you went, he's not going to last. He does, he's not going to be.
Yeah, there were players, and I've seen not only at Rangers, I've seen other clubs that I've been at as well. Big players, but when you're at a big club like Glasgow Rangers, and the expectation of winning every football match,
it's hard.
And the pressure, and you can't move because it's the city is just so absorbed with football, and in particular Rangers and Celtic. But you look at, I think it was at Capucho.
Nuno Capucho.
Nuno Capucho. Now
Who won the
Whenever he
UEFA
soaks
Cup.
right.
He won the UEFA Cup. Yeah, and look, Nuno was he was an unbelievable player, but again, in terms of settling in here, being accepted, he found it difficult, and it wasn't because he was a poor player, because his pedigree was unbelievable. So
Did nobody tell me to pull his socks up? And do his shinnies?
right up, He loved that one, didn't he? They're a little bit half down.
Aye, that did man nothing. Although I used to like the way Amo used to do his. He would pull his red, the red top, and then tuck it, and then so it would be shown black, and then it'd be red and black. It's amazing how you can remember the wee things, isn't it?
But the big man, he was quality. If your socks were there, mate, he's having them a little bit higher. He's got to be a little bit. But
That's because he tucked something in his sock. But that's another story.
yeah.
How did you find Big Amo? Because he was a guy that he seemed to me to be loved by the players, but also to frustrate and annoy them as well.
Yeah, no, Amo was my obviously centre half pairing. He was my partner, and I enjoyed probably my best football playing beside big Lorenzo Amoruso.
Yeah,
and I think that's because 2 different styles, and we complemented each other well. Unbelievable man. With a heart of gold, but the big Italian he's out there. He's a little bit loud, and sometimes people can take him in the wrong way. But certainly for us at the football club, we knew that whenever he was unhappy, it was coming from a good space. It wasn't that he was trying to single people out or be an arse. He just wanted the best for the team and for the club. I thought he was an enormous player. Probably the only time that you could say that with a big man is at times when it was a little bit too easy for him. Yeah, all of a sudden then Amo could do Amo things. He might look at it, do a Cruyff turn, or he wants to go on a 40-yard dribble or something like that. But you put
Would you shit yourself?
Well, again, I know that that's a potential. So
you're preparing yourself for it.
If he's looking to drive on, then straight away as his partner, I'm looking, well, just in case we lose it, that you're in a position where you can sweep things up. So that's partnerships, and I don't think you could take that away from him, because that's what made him the player that he was.
Was he ever the same after the captaincy was stripped from him? Did that change him as if not a player, a person?
If it did, he never showed it, and certainly within our dressing room, again, never showed that. He might have went home and been disappointed, and had a network that maybe he had discussions with about being unhappy, because it certainly couldn't have been a good time. I've been in a situation as well where you've been a captain, all of a sudden the captaincy's been taken off you for whatever reason, and at the end of the day, like I says, the big man is one of those ones where his heart was always in the right place. He wanted to do well for not only himself but the football club and the team, and he put that first. What he thought deep down, I mean, I've seen bits and pieces now, maybe through podcasts and some comments, and he touches on his personal experience and how it made him feel. But at that time within the dressing room, we never knew that as players, because professional thing was come in, get the job done, and make sure that any problems, and it's tough here. Like nowadays with mental health and all those kind of things, it's like talk and it's great and be open, all that sort of stuff. But back in the day, it's like, well, you got any problems, you leave them at home. You don't bring them into the football club. You don't bring them into this dressing room. And it was tough. It's a tough school.
Was that wrong?
Was it wrong? It was just the times. I think, it's like we didn't have, now with all the mental health awareness and what have you, and people are struggling. So for me, there is an issue, and it is important to be able to speak. But because we didn't have those outlets back in the day, you cope or it's sink or swim.
Do you ever look back and think, God, I was really young when I went through all the things that you went through when you were a player? Because these guys are in their 20s. You're just out of your 20s, Grado.
31, brother.
Craig and I are in our 40s, but you look back and think, God, they are so young.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I had a horrible 12 to 15 months at Rangers after the honeymoon period of coming in as a young player. Everyone supports you. Oh, that's great. You do well. And I remember having a shocking game. It was a home game against Dundee United. We won 5-0, and you're thinking, how can you have a bad game?
Was that the game Negri scored the 5 goals?
Yes. I had...
August 25th, 1997, maybe?
Brilliant.
I think it might be... I need to double check what you're talking.
But that particular game, I had the worst game in my life. I couldn't pass the ball 10 yards. But again, not many people know this, but I actually thought that morning that my wife had miscarried. So she'd gone to the hospital. I'd gone to play this game of football, and I never said a word. Because it was just like, you go in and try and do the job, but certainly didn't cope. Like I said, and a 5-0 thumping, and Marco Negri scoring 5 goals, for me having the worst game of my life. But the next 12 to 15 months was so hard, because that one game, that one moment, kind of had majority of the Rangers fans saying, he's not good enough for our football club, he's rubbish. And I remember driving home and talk sport and all that sort of stuff. Every weekend.
They were getting tore into you?
Getting absolutely smashed.
And all you're thinking about is Heather?
Getting absolutely smashed at that particular time, and it's like...
It's like you just are so... That's what you need to remember. There's so many fans. You read on message boards, you read on Twitter, which can be poisonous. You think to yourself, these people don't know what players are going through. Foreigners adjusting to living in a new city. What could be happening in their life with their girlfriends and stuff like that. That never goes through people's mind, and it does. It must be frustrating as a player for that. That Do you know what I mean by that?
No, for sure. Like I said, look.
By the way, it was the 23rd August, not the 25th.
So to be a professional footballer, it's obviously a privileged position, but you know the sacrifices and the hard work and what players do to achieve that position is unbelievable. You know, so to get there, that's fantastic. And then when you get there, like I said, you're in that public domain, Grado, where good, bad, or indifferent people are able to have their opinions and have a free pop or whatever, and people just assume that they're earning top dollar and all that sort of stuff. They should be able to take it. How can they be depressed? How can they all those kind of things? But we're human.
Do you think that you're glad that you played in an era where stuff like Twitter and message boards that wasn't run about then? Do you think that you're lucky that you skipped that bollocks that's out there now?
Well, I didn't skip that radio program. I was getting belted. So look, it was just different forms.
But did you go looking for it?
No, well, I didn't. Again, you get some players that back in the day that reading the papers and all that sort of stuff, and they got a 3 or they got a 4.
But you don't get them to fuck. Did you not
100%,
feel like that? Aye.
100%. What you got to do is you got to get in your own zone. I was fortunate enough where maybe I didn't play my natural position at that particular time, but...
Were you right back at that time?
Right back, central midfield.
You removed the boot everyone. You removed the boot.
But at the same time, I've got to say, well, Walter Smith obviously seen something in me, and I owe him a lot because he gave me the opportunity to forge a career. And like I says, at that time, I wasn't an established central defender, and I was a young boy. I was a young kid. I was breaking through. I broke through as an 18-year-old. So just to be involved, and obviously Walter had an opinion of us because he played us, even though he knew it was out of position, but felt that I could offer something and do a job.
I threw your good name out to Twitter, asking for some questions, and one of them here is from Michael. He says, "Why did Walter think you were a right back? Was that just to get you in the team?"
I mean, Walter knew that I wasn't a right fullback, but he obviously felt that with my competitiveness, the ability to get about. Obviously, I was a fit young lad. I had aggression, which you need as a defender, and I would say that he was trying to find ways to fit me into the team.
Yeah.
Central defender, like I says, at that time we had 4 or 5 all international class central defenders, and it is normally an experienced position. So he gave me the opportunity at right fullback, Davey. So I was grateful for that. It wasn't my best position, we know that, but it certainly for me showed. Throughout my career, what you learn in isolation as a fullback helps you, I think, as a central defender.
Run about the club at that time was Gazza.
Yeah, I mean, well, wasn't that a blur?
Beautifully put.
Look, at that time you had Gazza and you had Brian Laudrup. I mean, these two players. Not that I speak about football all the time, my time at Rangers, but when I get asked about, Gascoigne and Brian Laudrup, they were world class. They were world class players. Laudrup was phenomenal, gentleman. The way that he would drag the ball and go by players, he probably took more enjoyment out of the assist than the goal itself. And Gazza could just do everything himself. He could do everything himself. He was one of those ones where, give me the ball, right? He could probably play an easy one, but he'd say no. He'd wait until that defender got close. He'd feel his opponent. He'd twist and turn and have a little bit of fun, right? And then all of a sudden play the ball that he could have played 10 seconds ago. But it was just to show how good he was. And the 2 years, like I said, that he was here, he was fantastic with the young kids. Heart of gold. And an absolute phenomenal player.
What did he get up to with you?
Not too much, to be honest with you, because...
Did you try and keep back?
He kept back from the group, in respect for the group, because there was a lot of media hype and attention around about Gascoigne, as we all know, and at times would have read. So he never wanted to put the group under any extra media pressure, if that makes sense.
Oh, so he tried to kind of protect the team.
Say for example, back in the day and lots of stuff, Tuesday we're going to go out, we're going to have a few beers, we're going to have a bite to lunch and all that. Gazza would be there for 15 or 20 minutes, right? He'd come in, he'd socialise, upbeat as he always is, and then he'd go, right, boys, I'm going to shoot, so he's going to enjoy your day. Because he knew that he was going to be harassed, and by him being harassed meant that the whole group was obviously exposed to all the media and all that sort of stuff. So he was a fantastic person, always put the group before himself, but at the same time, now you kind of see and understand maybe why, the issues and all that sort of stuff that he's had, because he's had to spend a lot of time by himself. And we were touching on it earlier, Grado, about when you got so much time by yourself,
Your mind starts
too much
playing
time
your
to
trick.
think.
Aye, definitely. Is it, you're talking about the Tuesdays. That was the thing, wasn't it? It was a Tuesday. Talk us through these Tuesdays.
Well, I can't remember half of them.
I bet you can it. But was that the deal? Was it Tuesday, right?
It normally
Lunch,
was, 'cause-
smash off.
Yeah, because Tuesday was normally a physical day. Yes?
Right.
So like normally, like when you had that clean week and you're off on a Wednesday, we'd get a touch up physically on in terms of run and it was a really hard session. But then you would have 12 to 15 boys that would then shoot out, have lunch, have a few beers, probably have a few more. And then would be off on the Wednesday, and then we used to be buzzing on Thursday because then you'd hear all the stories there.
Reading what happened on the Tuesday.
Well, if it didn't make the paper, then we got it. But that was, look, again, the times have changed. Back
Can you
then,
do that now, man?
no chance.
Nah. And do you think that's missing for football? Or do you think it's a good thing?
No, it's definitely got to be a good thing. I mean,
You think so?
Yeah, in terms of the level of football, the amount of games, the preparation that's required.
It's changing everywhere, and it's not even just in football.
That's sport.
It's everything. Aye,
Yeah.
it's like even.
Well, you can do it now, but you're the minority, right? And whereas back in the day, the majority were that was a culture, and even back then, like the Walter Smith didn't have to say, by the way, that's not good enough. It was actually managed like, so if you're going to go out and have a drink and you can't train the next day, or if you have that Wednesday off and you come in Thursday and you're off and you're putting in a really ordinary session, mate, you had 10 boys going through you.
Aye.
100%. You had 10
Aye.
boys going through you saying, by the way, if that's a shit that you're going to deliver, don't go out.
Aye.
Don't go out. So it was kind of managed in-house.
That's great.
I
Huh?
like it. We talked about Gaza there. Was there a particular story of Gaza being Gaza? doing crazy things, funny things that you can recall?
Look, I'm not as good a storyteller as McCoist. But
I don't think anybody is.
Nah, but there
That's
was
fine.
and I've heard Coisty tell it a bit as well. But Gazza's teeth weren't the best there, so there was one day where he'd come in and he'd been to the dentist, and he's kind of like he's snuck into the dressing room, nice and quiet. People are going, "What's happening here?" and all that. And the boys start having a bit of a chirp and all that. And the next minute he smiled. Mate, you should have seen the size of his teeth. His teeth were like tombstones, mate. They were ginormous. They were ginormous, right? So the boys are obviously, before we're heading out to train and all that, giving an absolute roast, and Coisty being one of the main ones. We've gone and we're training, and I think it was like, might have been game day -1, so the day before a game. So the media and all that sort of stuff are there, taking the pictures and all that sort of stuff, the last little snippets that get shot out for the weekend. Walter Smith's got us in as a group, and we're having a chit chat and all that, and boys are looking like, "Where's Gazza? Where's Gazza?" He was like 30 yards over. He was on his hands and knees eating the grass like a horse. Like just taking a mickey out of himself as he done.
Yeah.
Got back, trained, went to the dentist, got the teeth filed down to a normal size, and away back he went.
That's brilliant.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, at least you discovered the vegan diet, which is nice. Who were the apart from Gaza? Was there somebody who kept you laughing all the time just by doing stuff that was completely left field?
Not completely left field, but we had a dressing room at that particular time that Coisty was brilliant in the dressing room. Coisty and Durant were on fire. You go in, if you've had a shit day, and all of a sudden you walk into that dressing room, you hear their two going at each other, and not only going at each other, mate. Anybody that walks in, so bad pair of shoes, bad clobber, mate, you're getting it. You're getting it, mate. It was constant. It was just one of those ones where, no matter how you felt, once you got into that dressing room, you felt $1 million just because it was such a great vibe.
That's amazing.
I've got a tweet here from All Seeing Eye. It says, "Can you ask Craig what do you miss most about your time at Ibrox?" I suspect you might have just answered it there.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can be retired and you can be away for it, and you still love the game and all that sort of stuff. But what you miss, I don't miss the games, but I miss that dressing room. I miss that buzz. I miss having your mates, you know? and the structure.
Aye. See, you're talking about the buzz, right? So, you know, as a fan, Old Firm Week, right? It starts Monday, sleepless nights, Tuesday, sleepless nights, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's just a torturous week. As a football player, what's it like? I mean, you might have a game on a Wednesday and whatever, but when does it start to go, fuck man, the Old Firm game's coming?
Yeah.
And how does it feel as a player? Are you worried about if you're going to get a game? Is there a difference? Sorry, I'm asking quite a lot here.
No.
And is there a difference between an Old Firm game at Ibrox, Parkhead, the build-up?
The build up, not really, but like I said, you're right. A week, 2 weeks. Look, you know when the Old Firm game's coming. You know, you'll get the normal chit chat that it's like game at a time, and that's cliche, and it is true. It is true, but there's always an eye on the Old Firm game, and the build up. Look, there is a slight difference between the home game and obviously being away. You know, at home, you know that you've got you've got a decent portion behind you that are going to lift you and
Does it make a difference?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
What's it like?
Huge difference, but at the same time, for me, there's no better feeling going away and being able to silence so many more. If that makes sense.
100%.
Like you're going away and it's like, you know, people are giving you a hard time and you're under a little bit of pressure, and all of a sudden you go up the field and you score away from an Old Firm game, and it's like, mate, that's unbelievable. That's massive.
Did the Old Firm game the other week, when Celtic had one shot on target and won the game, remind you of what you guys were doing when Walter was manager?
I thought you were going to say that. I had conversations with quite a few people, Rangers and Celtic supporters, after the match, and that's as good as I've seen us for a long, long time against Celtic in terms of the way that Rangers played. We didn't get the result, and you're right. You look at Big Fraser in goals for Celtic. He done exactly what Andy Gorham done so many times.
It's ridiculous
so
how
many times.
It's just how many people are comparing that the Rangers and Celtic today are what happened in the 90s, isn't it?
I think the comparisons are there. Now, what's interesting about back then was that Rangers didn't get 10 in a row. Why didn't you get 10 in a row? And is there can you see a parallel happening there?
Look, why? I certainly feel that maybe the announcement of Walter Smith's departure midway through the year didn't help. Yeah. So whether or not that could have been handled in a different way, because
Gazza as well.
Yeah, but it was
and
all.
Laudrup announced as well. Was he
It was all on the back of that, wasn't it? It kind of
Gaza was sold in March.
Yeah, it kind of went down. I mean, we were 10, 12 points clear at Christmas, I think.
And then they announced Laudrup going to Chelsea. Is that right?
Yeah. So there was
a pre-contract.
Those things for me, and again from my experience now on the other side and being involved in football clubs and all that sort of stuff, I don't think they were the messages that we needed to get out. Especially with such a big season, and for going for 10 in a row and history and all that sort of stuff. For me, that was a big factor in why we didn't get over the line.
Wow, amazing. That season, did the best team win the league?
Oh, mate, you're testing my memory, because I really, in terms of, I don't even know what the difference was in the end in terms of...
In terms of the squad, the players, though, do you think that the Rangers team, with Laudrup, Gascoigne, Gorham and all the rest of it, were better than the Celtic team? Henrik Larsson had just joined, but it wasn't the Henrik that
we've seen. Look, I think that both squads were pretty close.
Yeah.
Like I said, it went for, back in those days. Like I said, we just knew how to win. We maybe go into certain Old Firm games and maybe, like nowadays you see the stats and all that sort of stuff. Great, it's like, yeah, we had this much possession. Okay, what was the score?
Yeah,
what was the score? Because that's what matters.
Well, it's like,
exactly.
I think, did Tierney tweet something about, like in boxing, at the end of the day, it takes one knockout punch and then that's it.
Absolutely.
And that's it. I want to ask you, you're a Rangers player. How does it feel just being in that tunnel? It could be a European night, Old Firm, big game. You're standing in a tunnel, all the troops are together, dun, 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 music hits, and you're walking. How does that feel? And is that one of the biggest things that you miss?
Well, you're as you're telling that story, I got the hair
goosebumps.
standing up on the back of my neck there as well, and that's exactly what I had whenever I had the opportunity to walk out and play at Ibrox. It was just, it was an unbelievable, and it was an unbelievable buzz. It's a great stadium, great supporters. It was just amazing, and the bigger the game, you know, obviously the fans are right up for European nights. Played some fantastic matches without getting to the back end of European tournaments. Played in some wonderful matches where the noise was just a different level. Different level, and like I said, in 3 different teams where I had 3 different styles of football. I remember the great night against I think it was Parma 2-0.
One night.
What a night, and what a great football inside that was.
But did your fellow Aussie no score that night as well?
He scored. He cut inside, didn't he? Cut inside. He's had a shot. I think it was slightly deflected, but I think it was himself and Claudio Reyna that scored that night.
That's right.
2-0, and that was against a damn good Parma side.
Did he?
Oh, it was a team filled with World Cup winners, past and future.
Correct.
Buffon on goal. Cannavaro was the centre back. Bogosian was the centre back. French World Cup winner. Quality all the way through. What was your favourite game of your time at Rangers?
And I mean, this is a tough question because
There were so many.
yeah, there were so many great nights. Obviously, the domestic success, Old Firm games. You know, no matter whether the result didn't go your way, there are always games that you remember because there's always something within that game that you remember.
Aye.
You know, Champions League run when we were with Bayern Munich, PSV, and Valencia. Those games, I love that because that was that test at the next level for us. That was kind of test that, you know, you show them what you can do against a really hot group. We started well, unfortunately. You know, that was probably a disappointing end to the group. Mikey Moles picking up his injury, the ACL injury, away to. I mean, we conceded an early goal in that game. We needed to get a draw, I think, against Bayern Munich. Battered them. We got beat 1-0. Oliver Kahn had the game of his life.
Yeah, it's amazing how often it happens. When I said to my wife I was coming here today, she knows nothing about football. I said, I'm interviewing Craig Moore, and she said, is that the guy that you interviewed him on the pitch at Hampden? And he said, hello to my mum and dad. I'll phone you tonight, but I'll be steaming butt.
Did you do that?
And it was. I don't remember that, to be fair, and you're the only person probably that will remember that. And I've kind of kept that one quiet for some time. Mate, that was one of those ones where, mate,
I'll be steaming butt.
Young. Yeah, mate. I mean, enjoying the moment. Probably not the great message that you want to put across after a cup final, but
you were as high as a kite.
But you can't take that back, mate. But yeah, I remember that. But not many people do. Well, they do now, maybe.
I'm sorry about that. Did you phone?
I probably would at some stage. I don't know.
You've got your boy here. Is it Dylan?
Yes.
Dylan, how you doing? It's yourself, wee man.
Yeah, good.
What do you mean, man? Dylan, how tall are you?
182.
All right.
Right.
So
same height as me.
So you got him at the Rangers then, aye?
He's
a Rangers man.
He loves the
a Palace man.
No, he loves the Rangers. Like I says, he's his time and his memories. He's born in Scotland. Both the kids were born in Scotland. He was brought up, obviously following and seeing his dad play for Rangers. He was a little bit young at the time. Managed to, I think he was, I think you were mascot one of the Old Firm games.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Which one?
They won.
We won. Yeah, it was a home game. It was at Ibrox, so I don't know exactly what the score was of that game, but the photos there, and obviously he's had times where he's been out on the pitch after celebrating, winning the league title. So he loves the Rangers.
Those Old Firm games. Who was your favourite opponent within those games?
Yeah, I mean, look, my battles, I guess, with Henrik Larsson were the ones that I enjoyed the most. There was a healthy respect there between the two of us. Both competitors. He was, for me, he was probably the best striker I played against. And And
even at international and Champions League level?
At that time, yeah, because we were probably having more, like you come up against what do you call it, a Van Nistelrooy or what have you. It's a one-off, yeah. Like whereas you're having a little bit more regular hit-outs against, and Larson was the type of player where there was a cunningness to Larson in terms of the way that he would kind of kid on that he's not really interested. You can have the ball and you can start to build up and all that sort of stuff. But he was always alive. He was always alert, and he had the ability to just make things happen. I remember one of the games at Parkhead where the ball was coming in from across, and his touch actually should have gone across his body to then try and get a shot off. He didn't take a good touch, and it kind of just fell half a yard to his right-hand side, and he just swiveled and hit it with his left and scored an unbelievable goal. And defensively, I'm like, hey, what do you do there? Like it was just like he's turned something that maybe wasn't to plan into a positive action. So I love the duels that we had against him. But you had Chris Sutton, you had John Hartson, so a couple of wrestlers up top.
You need them. Hey, do you know what? That was one of my. And do you know what? Playing at Ibrox, I played a charity game with you, and it was brilliant to share a dressing room with you, Craig. It was such a brilliant day, honestly. You did remember that, eh?
We had good fun. That was back in March last year.
March last year, I remember it.
Craig, can you just talk us through Grado's miss from that game?
Fuck, here we go again.
Oh, man.
Do you remember this? No, I missed it.
It couldn't have been that. It couldn't have been that bad if I don't remember it, mate.
No, you know what? Listen, let's change the subject.
You probably assumed that he'd scored it.
Do you know what I want to? I want to ask you something, right? This goes through my mind, right? I want to ask you this, right? This is what I want.
I love stuff that goes through your mind.
No, but I just like to know this stuff, right? What's it like coming back into a dressing room after an Old Firm game and Celtic have won? What's the manager? How do the managers react? Do they fucking get that, or do they go, right, boys? Do you know? Is it and was there a difference between Eck, Dick, and Walter? You know, was there different?
Nah, there definitely was. I mean, look, the likes of a Walter Smith, for example, who has that emotional attachment to Scotland. But if you go in, look, if you lose an Old Firm match and you've gone out there and you've performed and you've kind of given, not you always give it everything, but sometimes you know there's maybe a game where you've just not been at the races, and if you've not been at the races, there was nobody scarier than Walter Smith coming.
Really?
In. Oh my God!
And he didn't need to shout.
But he could.
He did shout.
But he could.
Archie as well.
Archie. I love Archie to bits, but Archie he went all the time. So there was kind of...
He was non-stop, so you expected it.
Yeah, when somebody goes all the time and you get it from game to game to game to game, it's like it's not different. Whereas Walter always presents, always calm. But then when he exploded, oh my word, mate, you would shit yourself.
Oh, really?
Oh.
What was the worst?
Unbelievable. Look, I've seen him when he's had Gazza by the throat pinned up against the wall.
Seriously?
Really?
Why? Why? It was probably because Gazza was...
Doing
what Gazza wanted to do rather than what was important for the team. And I'll tell you what, again, you see the face. Gazza shit himself. And by the way, it come round pretty quickly to realise who was the boss and what needed to be done. So look, Walter had this. He had this side, and I think he didn't have to show it a lot. But I think also that's a sign of good management. Like Dick Advocaat, different. Because Dick Advocaat is more, let that emotion immediately after the game, instead of coming in and maybe saying what you want to say and might regret, mate, let it breathe.
Let it breathe.
Mate, we're going to revisit it, and then you'll be highlighted what you've done well or what you haven't done well.
I think you were always quite lucky at Rangers with having good goalies.
Oh, I mean, look, again, people ask me, I mean, Andy Gorham, we know, is an unbelievable goalkeeper. Some of the saves, that we've all seen him make, like that. How did he do that? I played in front of Stefan Kloss. For me, I felt Stefan Kloss was that same goalkeeper. I thought Stefan Kloss was unbelievable. He was very similar to in stature in terms of
not in personality.
Not in personality. But he wasn't. Again, I never played with a goalkeeper that was going to come and demand his box and take crosses and all those kind of things. So you had to learn how to defend. But at the same time, you knew that if you got caught defensively and somebody's left one-on-one with your goalkeeper, mate, 9 times out of 10 they're going to bail you out because they were shit hot.
Sorry to cut in, David, but I have this bizarre obsession with Theo Snelders. I always bring him up in the Football Daft podcast.
I thought you were going to mention Anthony Niemi.
Niemi, remember Niemi?
What a goalkeeper he was. When he had to put in the
Niemi
first
was a
team.
goalie.
Great career in the Premier League with Southampton. Great career with Hearts.
I always just wanted to get
Is he not goalkeeper coach for the Finnish national team?
Yeah,
Probably will
they've
be.
been right down the tubes.
I just want to know what happened with Theo Snelders at this game if he shot out it. Was he a shite bag?
Theo Snelders. Now, Theo
And
Snelders,
why did he always wear trousers?
Theo Snelders was a number 2. You know, there's sometimes where you have, and again, Theo Snelders was a fantastic goalkeeper.
Probably for Aberdeen.
Before my time, Aberdeen, correct. At Rangers, he was a number 2. He was a number 2. He knew his role. Did he shit it? I don't know. That's something maybe you have to ask
Do
him.
you remember Billy Thompson, Colin Scott? Remember all them?
Yes, Colin Scott was obviously when I was breaking through with the first team, but he was the one that was there. He was the younger one. Billy Thompson, unbelievable, mate, champion.
He's killing, isn't he?
Ali Maxwell was another one.
Ali Maxwell, although he did have a howler, did he know? One of the games?
94 Scottish Cup final.
Aye, Ali
That's
Maxwell.
where you get the blame for that goal, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, I always ask about goalies. I was a goalie
We've
growing
got
up,
time
so.
for one more question each. Grader's going to ask you one from Twitter, but
Right.
before he does that, let me ask you this one. Who's going to win the Scottish Premiership this season?
It's hard to say that, Craig.
Yeah, no, because look, I'll be honest with you. I believe that Celtic are going to win the league this year.
Next year?
I think Rangers will win it next year.
Why?
Because I think that the gap has certainly closed. I believe that if we can start to, and I say we, I'm talking about Rangers. If they can play more games like they did in that last Old Firm game, for example, you play that game 10 games. That was the only time they would have lost that game. The other 9 they're winning. The gap is closer. I think Gerrard is doing an amazing job. I do believe that they'll probably need to spend a little bit again next year. But again, this is my crystal ball moment, Grader. This is what I think. I think that Celtic will still be too strong this year. I think that it's important and it's a must, actually, that Rangers keep Morelos.
That's what I've got to say. I don't think we'll have him next year, though.
I don't think they can let him go because, he's 23 now, right? So if he's still scoring goals and he's 24, they're still going to get 20, 30, 40 million, whatever they're going to get for him, right? But if you let him go now, and then hope that you can recruit a striker that's going to hit the ground running, which you have to. For me, it's a big risk.
Okay, and
That'll make the papers.
you were stripped to the captaincy at Rangers, and we know that Amo was as well. There's a lot of talk about doing that to Tavernier at the moment. Would you say that would be the right thing or the wrong thing to do, having been there yourself?
I mean, look, the club have made a decision. The coach has made a decision that Tavernier is the captain, and for me, look, a captain can be in and out of form, and a captain can make a bad decision, or he doesn't take the penalty, or he gives it to Morelos or whatever in the Old Firm match. Move on. It happens. For me, get behind the team, get behind your captain, because that is the only way that you're going to have somebody that's going to be able to perform and do the job to the best of their ability. Just get behind it and support it. For me, like I says, I think that he's the right man for the job. I think he should certainly keep the armband, and I've no doubt that he's going to go on to bigger and better things with the football club.
I've got a question here from Twitter. It's from Brian Gibson, and he's asking, have you ever done a... Sorry. I have a question from Twitter. It's from Brian Gibson, and he asks, have you ever done a shift on Bob Malcolm's ice cream van?
It's funny you say that. I've not done a shift on it, right? But the last
You've had a wee short drive.
last week we were at the Fort in Glasgow, and I've met Big Bob Malcolm, and he's turned up in his ice cream van.
You're young.
He's turned up in his ice cream van, right? And just as we were leaving, Dylan, you were asking for a couple of the new bottles of Iron Brew. Yeah. What is the special edition Iron Brew?
Oh, the 1902.
Yeah,
1901.
1901. So we're going out to the ice cream van, and Dylan's going to go into the to the front seat to get the 2 bottles of Iron Brew.
Right.
And Bob's like, "Oh, you wee man, bolt around the side like all my customers." and hands him the 2 bottles of Iron Brew.
Brilliant.
And then as he was driving out of the fort, he's got the tunes on.
Get
as
the tunes
well.
on. Brilliant.
Mate, brilliant.
Did you get a cone? Did you get a cone?
Mate, I didn't get a cone, but we got 2 bottles of Iron Brew.
Did he get it for nothing?
He did actually.
And what tune? What tune does Bob Malcolm's?
He's been there before. Let's leave him.
let's let people guess.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was a Disney tune like every other ice cream band.
yeah.
Craig, it's been brilliant to see you here. I have to admit now, we're not in Australia. You've come home to see us,
Aye.
which we appreciate very much, and I enjoyed your company.
I honestly feel, because I honestly came in here today thinking it was going to be in FaceTime and all this shit. We usually have people in FaceTime who come and they walk about and their wife's in the background, their dog's barking, their Waynes are fucking greeting and all this shit, and you never get a good interview. But
He's brought his Wayne.
aye, but he sat in the corner like a nice wee boy and just chirped in. He's been all right.
He's been annoying me. He's been in my island.
No, honestly, this has
He's been on that Tinder the whole time.
It's been great to have you in the studio, honestly. I looked up to you as a wee boy. It was great to share a dressing with you. That game at Ibrox, and it's
mate,
been
brilliant.
an honour for you to be in the studio today. It's been brilliant.
Mate.
Thanks so much. And if you get any words to your fans in Australia, any, can you I think home and away are 6 months in advance. So you get any
Mate,
spoilers for?
I must be about 6 years behind, mate. I tell you what, the last time I watched that was probably when I lived in Scotland.
Is it really? Aye.
Mate,
Any
China-
favourite characters?
Is
that
Kylie
attached.
Minogue still in it?
No.
Nah.
You get any favourite characters?
No, I honestly don't watch them.
No.
But is Alf still in it? Is he still in Home and Away?
Alf Stewart.
Alf Stewart?
I don't know if Alf's done it. Alf.
Alf.
Is he dead? Alf and Elsa.
And Elsa, yeah.
Because I remember Elsa died and Alf seen Elsa as a ghost. A very emotional scene.
Oof.
Very much like the scene in Coronation Street where Jack Duckworth dies and he sees Vera. And Vera and Jack and they have a dance in the middle of the living room. And it would bring a tear to a glass eye. So I advise Football Daft listeners tonight, if you've got a spare 10 minutes, please type in Jack Duckworth, Vera, death scene.
Well, there you go, Oz.
Mate, brilliant. Like I says, if you're gonna do something, do it properly. Yeah? You could be in the Gold Coast, but I'm here in, I'm going to say sunny Glasgow, but that's not the case. But been a pleasure to come in and have a chat with you.
Is that a good place to come in? Because do you know what? I go on holidays now and again, America and stuff like that. I know, look at fucking... Listen, fucking calm down, it's a podcast.
By the way, that's producer John who's getting
He's
his
a pain in the
arse
arse. He sits saying the writes wee notes and all that, and it puts me off. He's getting a doing. Right, anyway, what was I going to say?
Gold Coast, mate, you'd love it.
Is the food good?
Brilliant.
Shrimp?
You get shrimp on the barbie.
Barbie! That is good score for the studio then, aye.
Mate, it was, yeah.
Aye, so what's your nearest big city? Because I'm going to try and see if I can get a booking in America to wrestle, and you can come and see me wrestle there.
Wrestle in America or Australia?
Australia.
Australia. Well, Gold Coast is the city that is closest to me, but you've got Gold Coast and you've got Brisbane, which is
Right.
45
I'm
minutes.
There's a wrestling scene, I think, somewhere round about there. But if I did get a booking near there, will I be able to stay on your house for a couple of days?
100%.
Right,
100%, mate.
Finally, pop quiz. Brisbane. Where was he born?
Where was who born?
What?
Brisbane.
What are you talking about?
Brisbane.
Oh, is this shit part again? What is
The
it?
man after whom the city was named. Largs.
There you go. There you go.
The Brisbane Hotel and Larks.
There you go. It all makes sense.
David Tanner, you've been football.
I know. I've been
Anyway.
boring. I've been boring.
Boring. No. But honestly, thanks so much for that. I appreciate that. And thank you so much.
This has been the longest goodbye in the history of podcasting.
And I'd just like to say, great, you wore the number 3 shirt.
Yes.
Aye. Did you ever wear 4?
Not for Rangers, no. Oh, maybe.
What was your-
I said I
what
had
was
a
your-
7.
What was your
an
squad
8,
number? 6?
8.
No, he
Now
was
it's 3.
3.
Yeah.
He's 3.
7 and
Has
8.
there has there been any better number 3 since then?
Yeah, Arthur Newman.
He was 2.
He was 5.
He was
Oh,
5.
he was 5.
He was 5.
Libor Sionko. I thought he was. Right, this has been a longer goodbye than Jeremy Corbyn. Craig Moore, thank you very much indeed. Great to see you here on Football.
Daft. Well, that was an incredible episode. I loved that Christmas. Wee bit of talking about Christmas scoff at the start. You surprised me by bringing in Craig Moore. I managed to meet Jose Quitongo again. He always puts a smile on my face.
Well, I agree with you, especially the bit where you said,
I
when your voice went. It was really great. Great to see Craig Moore again. I've not seen him for a long time. Super player. When he tackled you, you stayed tackled.
Correct.
Great to hear his stories about Gazza and his respect for Henrik Larsson as well. Really, really.
But what a
enjoyed
lovely
that.
guy.
Great
Lovely,
guy.
lovely.
Really great guy.
Lovely lad, and I hope he gets a wee bit of success down under as a football consultant, because I'm sure he could be an asset to any team down there.
Yeah, you never know. He might spot the next Craig Moore and give him to Rangers, maybe even to Celtic. You never know.
Yep.
I suspect there'll be one more than the other. By the way, our friends at Action for Children, the Scottish charity, have asked us if we can promote their Secret Santa. So listen up, everyone. We've been talking about our great Christmases that lie ahead for us, with presents, with warm dinners, warm houses, trees and all the rest of it. There are some kids who are in vulnerable situations who don't get a present from
Shocking,
Santa.
it's absolutely horrible.
It's heartbreaking, but you can help fix that by being a Secret Santa for Action for Children. All you need to do is text WARM, that's WARM, WARM, to this text number 70175. That's 70175. And if you do that, you'll donate £10 to the Secret Santa Fund. You can also go online to iamsanta.org.uk/Scotland. That's iamsanta.org.uk/Scotland to be a Secret Santa for Action for Children. Thank you. So listen, Grado, have a great Christmas, old son.
Aye,
Enjoy your 5 minutes off from the pan.
I know that's all I'm going to get, so I'm going to get torn into as much prawn cocktail as possible. I'll have a cheese board and all. Love a cheese board.
Oh, and who could knock you for that?
Who could knock me for that? So, as I say, I'm off. And make sure, if you are a Football Daft listener,
I am.
for the next couple of weeks, Football Daft are going to be releasing best of episodes.
Are those
for
the ones
Football
with your
Daft.
throats working?
Aye. There's going to be a mixture of Ewan there. Ewan's going to be in some.
Listen, can I say a special thank you to you and to producer John for looking after me while I've been
brilliant.
standing in for you and Cameron. And by the way, Ewan, hearts are knackered. They're going down, but
Yeah.
don't let that worry you.
So, but I just want to say it's the last Football Daft official, live episode. Thanks very much for everybody that's listened to the show, that's tweeted and left us reviews. I've really, really enjoyed doing this podcast. I've got to meet some of my heroes, and I've got to have such a good time with meeting lovely people, and I've got to feel up quite a few famous folk as well. So
enjoyed that.
Thanks very much for listening. Hopefully 2020 we can bring you more.
I see
Right,
what
I
you
need
do.
to bolt. I need to get to right. I'm
Listen,
starving to.
do you need to go to the panto?
Yep, I do.
Listen, have a great panto. We'll see you in the new year. But remember, the best of over the next couple of weeks. Listen out for that.
Yep.
Thank you very much for making me feel so welcome here on the Football Daft podcast in 2019. We'll see you in 2020.
David, you've been football.
Grado, you've been daft.
It's yourself.
We
Shouldn't
are.
have done it as long as that.